You famously said you should date men who are providers.
Yeah.
One of your quotes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, talk to us about that mentality of like, I want to date providers.
Things just get a little bit, weird and different, I should say, when the roles are kind of reversed, where you're not really going to have respect for a man like that if you're splitting the bills with him. I'm telling you, you're really not. Where it's like you come home after a long day and now you got to cook. You got to, help the kids with the homework. He comes home after a long day. He wants to be fed. He wants a meal. And you got to make sure the kids are good. The kids are showered. Then, you got to make sure you're contributing to your monthly bills on top of everything else that you naturally have to do. Mm-hmm. When to me, at the end of the day, the only thing men really have to do is make the money. That is just without question. And that's what makes things work. Also, it helps men's ego to know, yeah, I can provide this home for, my family. And it boils down even to natural selection back in the caveman days, right? Where women were choosing men based off of how strong they were because they can go out and hunt and, and gather and bring things.
You're not going to starve with that caveman over there. I don't know about little Jimmy over there.
Exactly. And that translates these days into financial security. As superficial as people want to try and make it seem, I'm sorry, it's just basic fundamentals of science, right? Hopefully people have passed that class where it's like if you as a woman, what makes you feel secure is knowing this man is financially secure, because innately it feels like if we were to have an offspring, you can provide for our family. That is it on a very science level, at best. So everything else, to me, is just noise, like you say. I don't really want to hear it. And I don't negotiate with, with terrorists or people that have, other views. I don't care what their views are because I know what mine are. And what worked for me when I was in high school, which was contingent on how hot are you, is not going to fly anymore. You know what I mean? Like you can't pay this in looks and love and all these different things. Real life situations, happen. How are we going to provide? Like, do our values align? Different things like that. But even like the divorce rates and things, a lot of it happens to be around, money. And I think that for whatever reason, it's such a sensitive topic of certain men having an issue with gold diggers, and there's no gold to be dug. So I it's like, I don't understand that argument, because I always go by, if it doesn't apply, then let it fly.
They can't let it fly because they're offended. How dare you not try to dig for my non-existent gold? How dare you want gold and not bronze?
Exactly. Thank you. It ain't tricking if you got it.
Exactly.
If you have it like that, you're not going to be like, are you trying to use me? At the end of the day, men have the very clear understanding that beauty is the currency. Mm-hmm. Guys are not walking around like, yo, bro, you think she got money? You know Never. What I mean? So it's like, it doesn't make it, it's like, and I said this in one of my videos where I was saying the normal question that if you just meet a girl and you're talking to your guy friends about her, the first question they're going to ask you is, what does she look like? But if I'm talking to my friends about this guy that I met, the first question they're most likely going to ask is, what does he do? Which just shows like our minds naturally think different. Men are all visual, physical. Women, we come from the place of security. What does he do? Then it's like, oh, what does he look like? Because naturally in my head, I'm thinking, I don't really care what he looks like if what he does doesn't align with the life that I really want for myself. At the end of the day, we both still want the same thing. I still want a guy to be able to provide. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not an either or thing for me. And nor do I have this like very dominant like perception or, masculine perception of like, oh, no one's going to tell me what to do because I make my own money, all these different types of things. I think people look at it so black and white, like, oh, if you have your own thing going for you, that's like a guy. So you might as well be contributing, like a guy too. And I don't know, there's just like so many different types of men that exist these days with these distorted perceptions, of, okay, well, what are you bringing to the table and stuff like that? Like your beauty's gonna, fade. And then what do you have? Then we're off to the next younger thing. And I'm like, okay, so then you just prove my point that beauty still is currency.
Yeah.